Why does anyone spend that sort of money on one guitar? I thought, oh, yeah, I need that. So I bought it. Why? I could have bought a whole bunch of other guitars with that money. I'm not a dentist or a lawyer or a wealthy man. So why would I do that? A lot of it is in here. It is in there, honestly. Whatever anyone says, oh, it just feels so much better, it sounds so much better. It's not worth it if you can't afford it. Definitely not. Get something cheap. Won't make you a better guitarist, won't make you sound any better at all. Don't hate on me, guys, you know, don't, because I know a lot of you going, don't sell that, I regret it. Hello everyone, thanks for joining us. Welcome to the Guitaristas. So today, we're going to look at my Gibson Les Paul Custom Shop R4 in double gold. Lovely thing, eh? Take a look at that. Very expensive guitar. £3,800 I think I paid for that. What we're going to do today is we're going to ask the question, why on earth did I do that? And should I sell it and buy a whole bunch of more affordable guitars? Why does anyone spend that sort of money on one guitar? Sorry, that's two. One guitar. It's a good question, isn't it? It's a question that needs to be asked, I think. Dentists and lawyers, fair enough. You know, you got the money, spend it on posh guitars, hang them on your wall. You know, that's fine. That's fine. But I'm not a dentist or a lawyer or a wealthy man. So why would I do that? There's some obvious answers to that. The first one being interest-free credit. It's kind of my version of saving up for something, but I do it in reverse because there's no way I'd ever have saved up and bought this. It's just kind of, if something takes your fancy and go, ooh, I could do that. It's so easy to sign on the dotted line and then you get the guitar and then 2 years later you've paid for it, basically. And you kind of, I suppose, you know, if you're lucky enough to have a little bit of disposable income that at various times I have had, I can afford to do that. And I've ended up with some lovely custom shop guitars. But you might have noticed if you watch the channel, I've sold a couple recently. Just a few weeks back, I sold an SG Custom. And then earlier this year, was it last year? It was last year I sold my R8. This is my last custom shop Les Paul, and I've just started asking the question, well, should I keep it? Why did I buy it in the first place? What is it that I liked about this? I mean, apart from the obvious, it's a wonderful thing. I mean, look at it. We're going to get into that today. We're going to get into it, and we're going to ask that question. What is it to me? What is it to me? Do I need to keep it? Will I regret letting it go? It's a very special guitar. R4, in case you didn't know, stands for 1954 reissue. So this layout, shall we say, wrap over bridge P90s, is 1954 incarnation of the Les Paul, when they changed from the original, I think they called them trapezoid tailpieces that didn't work, to the wrap over bridge. That I think worked. A lot of people didn't like them. In 1956, they then changed to the tunomatic and stop bar, so there was better intonation. But I love this layout, as you may have noticed from a lot of my guitars, are wrap over P90s. It's a thing. It's a great thing. I love it. So I saw this 2019. I bought this. I thought, oh, yeah, I need that. So I bought it. Why? I could have bought a whole bunch of other guitars with that money. I'll give you an example. We can start with this, the Squier CV Custom Telecaster. Look at that. Beautiful Gretsch Streamliner, £361, I think I paid for that. It's a Firebird. It's Epiphone. It's bloody good though. I love my classics, don't I? And this Squier CV60s Jaguar, it ticks all the boxes. Likewise, this Epiphone Wilshire. I picked this up for 200 quid. Offner, very thin. 299, I think this was. Remember this from ages ago? Same rig, 2P90s, wrap over. Epiphone Les Paul Special, 339. That's 339, not 3,399. £339. The Squier 70s Telecaster Deluxe. What was that? Fuck all. £349. Can't forget the Casino, £399. And one of my most favourite affordable guitars ever, I think, the SG Special in Pelham Blue. Epi, what was this? £319. I'm sure you'll agree, a lot of guitars for the money, whereas here we've got a lot of money for the guitar. I'm not saying it's not a great guitar. It is. It's a great guitar. It gives you a great feeling to own this. I do, you can't ignore that. I was very pleased to get it, and I'm very pleased to own it. But I think we need to explore why and how far that goes, really, because it doesn't get played as much as you might think it should, really. With all that said, I think what we'll do now is we'll have a listen to it. I had a bit of a play earlier. Let's have a listen, and we'll see what it sounds like, and then we'll have a look at a couple of specs today as well. It's got a nice neck on it. We'll have a look at that. And we'll weigh it and stuff. But then what we'll do, we'll talk some more, and we'll try and work out what's going on up here, and if I can let this go, really. If I should let it go, really. I mean, obviously I own all those already, but I can buy another 10, probably, or work out your own variations of that. It might be 4 expensive guitars, really, as opposed to one ridiculously expensive guitar. Because I do think it's a lot of money for a guitar, isn't it? You can buy a lot of vintage guitars, proper vintage guitars. You can't buy a 1954 Les Paul for, well, it'd be $4,000 now, isn't it? These don't seem to be available. And it's the question mark I have got at the moment about this one is, I had a look on Reverb and there don't seem to be any for sale. These kind of have been superseded now by the Murphy Lab ones, which are basically this, but what they do is then they attack it with a razor blade and add $3,000 to the price. So I'm sure they are going to make some more of these, but they're probably going to be $4,500 by the time they come back into the shops. So it's a lot of money. You can buy a lot of guitars for that amount of money. So yeah, let's have a listen, and then we'll talk some more. Like all guitars with a wrap over bridge, it's got a great ring to it. They just sort of seem louder, that solid connection. It's definitely my favourite setup. Okay, let's have a listen. Same rig as always, Princeton 65, and you'll see. I've got a Soul Food and a Big Muff on the board, which I might use, I might not, but I'll show you if I do. Let's just muck around. it's undeniably good, isn't it? It's got that, you know, visceral. I was going to say tactile, visceral. It's got that. Where you can or you can Let's compare it with one of these cheapies and see how much I might be missing out on. I haven't got an affordable Les Paul with P90s, but I've got this Les Paul Special Epiphone, which is the closest thing probably, although it's got a slab body, it's got the same sort of setup, hasn't it? Twin P90s are up over bridge, so let's just have a quick listen to this and see if we can hear a massive difference. Let's tune it up first. So it's got that real nice snap, hasn't it? Unplugged. Okay. So that's interesting, isn't it? Because they don't sound massively different, do they? I mean, they sound different. If you listen to that a couple of times, you will hear the difference. But it's not huge. It's not huge. If anything, the R4 here is a little bit more open. It's more articulate. But it's got a maple cap, whereas the Epiphone doesn't have. So I guess you'd expect that anyway. But it's not huge. So the idea that you might spend 10 times as much on the guitar because it's going to sound that much better, it's not the case. It's not going to happen. Feel-wise, and people will say, "Oh yeah, but there's a massive difference in feel." Well, there's not a massive difference in feel. There's a difference in feel, but it's not massive. Now I can tell you, it's a lovely weight for a Les Paul. I'll show you. £8, 3 ounces. That's 3.73 kilos, I mean. If you like light Les Pauls, beautiful chunky neck, if you like that sort of thing, here's the profile and measurements at the 1st fret. And here's the neck profile and measurements at the 12th fret. As I'm filming this, it's becoming more difficult because I recognise that everyone might have different reasons for wanting to own something like this. Whether or not they can afford it. As I had my reasons. Some people, it might simply be a status symbol to recognise that they're good enough or that they can afford it. It's there's no right or wrong in this at all. So I'm going to try and focus back on me and my decision on whether or not it's now something that I should keep. I can keep. I could keep it. I don't have to sell it. But if I do sell it, I can buy more guitars. I think I also need to recognise that for me, it's not my only custom shop guitar. It's not the first one that I've owned or the last one that I will own. And I've still got some custom shop SGs on the wall. Although this is my last Gibson Les Paul. So I need to recognise that, I've been through this process before. It's not a one-off. And for a lot of you, it will be. It will be something that you're aiming for. So don't let me put you off, but maybe understand why you're doing it, and don't necessarily expect the end result to be much more than you're used to. I think a lot of it is in here. A lot of it is in here. It is in there, honestly. Whatever anyone says, it just feels so much better, it sounds so much better. Bollocks. It's bollocks, okay? It's a con. It's a con that Gibson keep on perpetuating, really. This is a fake of a 1954 Gibson Les Paul. I don't even know if it's a good fake, to be honest with you. It depends what their marketing blurb tells you that year, doesn't it? 2019, I think it was a good year. I think they've got it all pretty much vintage correct by then. But this is Indian rosewood fingerboard. And, who knows where the mahogany, who knows where the monogamy came from. It's a lovely thing anyway. Back to me list. Reasons to buy it. Yeah, it's a work of art. but it's a fake. It's not an original. So as long as you know that, it's shiny. I've got on my list. It's not an. I've got investment. I can understand why people want to collect these, because they are works of art in that way. But it's not really an investment for a collector. If you want to hang on to this for maybe 10 years or more, you might get your money back. I've had it 4 years. I'll be lucky to get my money back. That's the thing with Gibsons. Don't, when anyone tells you they're great investments, they're not, they're not, you might not lose very much on them, but they cost 10 times as much as anything else in the first place. So it doesn't add up. I don't know if any of that's been of any use to you guys whatsoever. For me, it's therapy, okay? Talking it through with you guys. I think at the end of the day, it was great for me to get this. It was exciting for a while. But I don't think I'm excited about owning it now. It's not a guitar that I play enough to necessarily justify hanging on to. I think that the buzz that I can get now from selling this and buying a whole bunch of other guitars, I'm thinking, well, shall I get one special guitar or shall I get that and that and that? That's quite a, it's quite a, yeah, you know what I mean? It's quite a thing. I'm thinking, I'm going to sell it. I think I've decided to sell it, and I won't regret it because I'll know I'll buy some other guitars with the money. So don't hate on me, guys. Don't, because I know a lot of you going, don't sell that, you'll regret it. I don't have many regrets in life, and if one of my biggest regrets is letting go of a fake Gibson. It's not, sorry, do you know what I mean? It's not a fake, it's real. So get the idea that I'm trying to flog you a knockoff Gibson. I'm not. It's you know what I mean? It's a 54 reissue. It's not a real 54. It's a fake 54. It's a very good one, apparently, according to the current specs. I'm going to let it go. It's not going on Reverb straight away. I have got a buyer for this, I think. Someone's reached out to me and said, yeah, I'll have that. If that falls through, it will be on Reverb. Link to my shop's in the description box, so maybe keep an eye on that just in case if you fancy it. If not, well, I'm sure that there'll be more guitars coming and going in due course. If you'd like to own something previously abused by me, okay. Yeah, this won't be the last expensive guitar I buy. I'm not, in all of this was just kind of like, was really more about, letting them go after you've got, is that big purchase significant enough to go, oh no, I can't possibly sell it? Well, for me, it isn't. No, it's not the first and it won't be the last silly expensive guitar that I've bought and sold. So if you're thinking about spending that amount of money or more on a guitar, do it for whatever reasons you want to do it. There's nothing wrong in it if you can afford it. If you can't afford it, think twice. Yeah, it's not worth it if you can't afford it. Definitely not. Get something cheap. Won't make you a better guitarist, won't make you sound any better at all, and it won't sound much better than whatever it is you've already got. In my humble opinion, that's it. That's it. See you next week, I hope. Same time, same place. And let's find out what sort of nonsense I'm banging out then. Yeah. Look forward to it. Ta-ra for now. Hello, it's me again. I'm back. Well done you if you're still here. I appreciate that. It's tomorrow now. I finished the first cut of that edit yesterday, and obviously you just heard the jam, and I was playing it back and listening to the jam, and I started having second thoughts. I said in this film, well, it won't make you play any better, it won't make you sound any better. But, well, unusually for me, that end bit, that play out jam, I listened to it back and I thought, wow, that sounds all right. Yeah, I was quite pleased with that, which is unusual. So I started thinking, maybe it's the guitar. I don't think it is. I think it was one of those moments where my mind was in the right place and a simple little kind of a bluesy thing, and I was just, I suppose I'm in my comfort zone there. But I thought it sounded good. And I seriously started thinking, I don't know if I'm doing the right thing here, because this guitar, when I play it, it's great. The problem is, I suppose one of the reasons I've sort of thought about selling it, I'm thinking about selling it, is that I don't play it very much. Maybe I should change that. Maybe I should keep this and play it some more. So I just wanted to let you know it's not a done deal, basically. I'm not definitely going to let it go. I'm going to think about it over the weekend and make sure I'm not making the wrong decision, because it's a special guitar, isn't it? So I'm going to think on it, and you stuck around to the end, so you're one of the few probably that even know I'm having second thoughts. So let's keep it to ourselves. Let's have another listen and see you next week, hope. All right, cheers.